And we are live. Hopefully, Facebook behaves itself tonight. Because it hasn't the last few weeks. Every time I have to reset the stream up. But good evening to everybody. Anybody that is watching us pre-recorded or joins us live. We've got Paul Howard on the bottom there, Luke Sturgis, and myself, Darren Graham. And we come under the banner puppy, Unified Paranormal Investigators. Set up completely free. There's no fees ever. We do this for our hobby. And it's just basically to bring people like ourselves together. More location sharing and a bit of power love, basically. Stop the bitchiness in the groups. I've got my own group. Paul's got his own group. Luke's part of South Coast Ghost. Paul's host for Ghosts. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. We go under Puppy and Great British Ghost Hunters. We've got 4,000 plus followers now, and we do it just because it's our hobby. It's something we really want to do, and to bring you real evidence of the paranormal. And as it says in the description on our YouTube channel and on Facebook, we do it. Paranormal is anything. The same as this chat. So welcome on board. If you do want to come on and chat, we'd love to have you, wouldn't we?
Yep, definitely. Come and chat to us. We talk about all things paranormal, supernatural. If there's questions you want to ask us. If we don't know the answer, we'll certainly try and find someone that does. But all is welcome.
Absolutely, yeah. We will talk about the toilets if there's a supernatural theme behind the toilets. Toilets to yourself.
Haunted toilet.
Yeah. Last week, for some reason, I'm using streaming software at the moment. I'm hosting this. I've got a box on the right-hand side where when you comment, it should come up on the comments. Last week, I got no comments come up whatsoever. Therefore, I couldn't reply to anybody. So I'm sorry about that, but it wasn't my fault. It was StreamYard software. Well, we did an investigation Saturday. Hopefully everybody else did. Where we worked Waverley Abbey, our normal, haven't visited in a while, regular investigation paradise. Would it be a paradise?
Well, certainly good. It's a good place.
Yeah.
I don't think we're ever going to get to the bottom of that place. I really don't.
I don't think so.
And
there's too many layers there, isn't there, to unlock?
Yeah. Well, what did we have? A young girl come through in the beginning from the 1900s?
Yeah, and we had one from was it 1612, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah.
Get, and it was good. Yeah, movement, noises, footsteps. It never fails, does it? That place, really.
Well, I mean, you and I were standing at the edge of the cloister, and we were talking away about your recent events, and we kept pausing because we kept hearing something.
Yeah.
Did you hear that? And that was at the very start of the night.
Yeah. We hadn't really started anything, had we? We were just standing there talking, and then we kept hearing, like, I don't know what it was, really, to be honest. Footsteps, or I don't know. It was a strange noise, wasn't it?
It was a strange noise. And then when we were further into I was midway, you were virtually sat at the wall at the back with Jen. Same with Dora. And she and you saw whatever it was, didn't you?
Well, Jen said she saw a shadow, didn't she, by Nigel? The shadow of a person standing there. So did Dora, so.
Yeah, that thing in white, whatever that was, that flashed round, do you remember?
Yeah.
I saw it from one window. Then there was a sort of a wall with a fireplace, and I'm like, I was talking to mid-flow. I just stopped. I just saw something. I think it was Doris said something in white, and she'd seen it from the other direction. So it was impossible to have relayed something that quick. Just looked at each other and went, wow. So that's Waverley. That's Waverley.
It is, yeah.
I don't know about yourself, Paul, but how long you've been going there. But
well, I've been there a while. I used to go with Surrey Paranormal there. Did a couple of times there with them, and it was very quiet. But you would always get something. But the more times we seem to go, the more we seem to uncover.
Yeah.
Really, with people moving, military, dates, new spirits, recent spirits, as Nigel was getting when we were there. It was all recent stuff. It makes you wonder how many levels are actually there.
How many are wrapped up in that place? I mean, for a start, how built up is the ground? What's under the ground?
Well, this is what makes you wonder how deep the footings go for the Abbey and everything, isn't it?
Well, we're only seeing the level that's there today. So over the years, obviously, with debris and walls falling down, it's built on top of each other, on top of each other, on top of each other.
Yeah.
So you could probably, look at this. We have some foreigners. Oh, look, some foreigners coming in here. Oh!
I can see a spirit.
Yeah.
He's got a spirit in his hand.
We were just talking about that film Titanic. Too much ice. Yeah.
We're about to leave port, so it's a little bit noisy.
Is that the abandoned ship, Paul?
Neil, the ship's not until the 25th, mate. I think they're departing in a minute. These drinkers, I can't stand them, can you?
Oh.
Back to the 80s. Neil was only in his 40s, yeah?
Trying to mute
I can't hear you. You've got a woman shouting at you. Oh, there's Dora. Hey. Evening, Dora.
Hey, Dora.
Hey.
Hello.
Have you had your hair cut?
No, I got to put my hair up.
Oh, well, that's good. It doesn't suit you short. Anyway. If you just said, yes, I've had a haircut, I said, that was lovely.
Can't hear you proper there.
Well, I'm in the dark, you see. I've got all the mood lights on, but we're just talking about material.
Oh, hello.
Yeah, look. Judith, for some reason, scared she's camera shy. Look. I get it now. I just got it. Anyway, thanks everyone for joining us. We're just talking about Saturday, Dora.
Yeah.
What a night we had, didn't we?
It was good.
What a night. I mean, I think the star of the show was that table, wasn't it?
Table was each time it's like weird, something different energy.
Well, yeah. I mean, the bit that got me was when you'd all been on it, and it had been like dancing around and everything like that, and you went, wow, right, let's give it a break, and you turned around and started talking about it, and all of a sudden it started creaking.
Yeah.
Wait, I'm not finished with you yet. Isn't it?
It was a different type of... The table was another level, though, wasn't it? The way it moved.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
very heavy. It felt like dinner table was moving, you know? It was that heavy.
What, it felt heavy when it was moving?
Yeah.
We're going to have to put the phone next to our ears because it's too noisy. We can't hear anything. Just put your phone there.
You need headphones.
You reached it.
Yeah, where's your headphones? Yeah, that's a good responses from the table, didn't we?
Honestly, it's so noisy here. We're just having trouble hearing it. So we'll show you out the window while we put our ears next to the. Yeah, sorry we missed Saturday. Would have liked to have come, but we were we had to be in bed early because we had like a 3 a.m. start. So it was like absolute nightmare, really.
100%. No, it's good to have you on the live. Really,
nice to see you.
Both of you.
Yeah.
Well, it'd be good if you could see us, but if we can't hear if we put it away.
Well, yeah. Whereabouts are you?
Sorry?
Whereabouts are you?
At the moment, we flew to Venice, and we boarded the ship yesterday lunchtime, and now we're in Brindisi, which is in the heel of the boot in southern Italy.
Right, okay.
That's where we are at the moment.
35 degrees.
That's nice.
Even now, we're sitting here and we're just like melting. There's no aircon. We're outside and there's no aircon. It's really hot, really warm, really warm.
Nice.
So Neil, I think Neil wants to go and get another cocktail. Do you want to go and get another cocktail?
You know, I think you should go and get another couple of cocktails, personally.
One each.
While I send the game then, Neil.
If it was me, I would just go and get whatever I could have in my hand. Yeah.
I've got big hands then.
Yeah, but then you don't want to warm them up.
We don't want to go too mad, do we?
Never had any complaints, Paul. Never had any complaints.
Apparently not.
But no, I mean, Saturday that table was just star of the show.
Well, it just.
Yeah. I mean, when you that really got me, because obviously I didn't come on the table. I very rarely do. One, my back bending down, and two, I don't want people to think I'm manipulating it because I'm the cameraman. Yeah. That's the main reasons. Plus the fact that sort of paid events, people have come to do it themselves, so it's not fair.
Yeah.
Me doing it, taking over, and but when you go to break, I'm like, Jesus, that thing's creaking. I said, say, oh, I can't finish with it yet. Yeah. Graham just popped up.
Hi, Graham. Good evening, Graham.
Hi, Graham.
Cheers, Graham.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. Thank you. I'm getting there.
Yep, and he's hope you're having a great time. There you go, and enjoying your cocktails. So, Graham's comment. Thanks for joining us, Graham. We're just on about the Saturday night's investigation at our normal, regular place, Waverley Abbey. I think some people have turned around to me and said, why do you keep going back so much? Why do you keep going back so often? What is it with Waverley Abbey? Surely there can't be enough there to keep you interested. I just simply turn around to them and say, well, we've got it cracked now. We know it. It knows us. We know when to get there. We know when to leave. I mean, at the end of the night, we all know to leave by sort of midnight because the energy changes. But it told us the other night, look, you've had enough. I believe it told us.
Yeah.
Luke
we both felt that. We both felt that, didn't we? Remember?
Well, we felt it, didn't we? And then all of a sudden that meter went off for Luke's, which has never been off before. And
I think that was a warning.
I think we're saying, look, you're feeling right, clear off. And I'll tell you another thing, all the way down that track, we were being followed.
Yeah, it was actually,
We were being followed.
Yeah.
I don't know what was following us, but we were being followed.
Definitely.
When I got the door through that gate and we were standing there and I turned around and I kept saying, look, there's a light there, there's a light there. Yeah. One thing I did notice about Saturday is we all had something that we've never had before. he had a communication problem.
Yeah.
I said to a few people a few times, come here and smell this. And they just looked at me and carried on. And a few said to me, and I think that was their second time they said to me, no, they're quite, well, I mean, if you think somebody's seen something, you're straight on the case. That's what you're there for. Like I said to you about the gunpowder. Remember the smell of the gunpowder?
Yeah.
I'd said that 2 or 3 times until you actually came over, and normally you'd be there. Bang. But there was
I said that shadow about, have to say about 2 or 3 times.
Yeah. Do you remember, Dora, when we were in the main part at the start, and I stopped and I said there was something in white just went past. And
I see that. I see that through the window with Nigel.
Yeah.
It was like back in the field and was coming, disappearing. It was basically like someone standing in there, like I would say in the dress, like a mist.
It was, wasn't it? And,
yeah.
And I'll tell you what, though, it was like a thick mist. It was solid mist.
Was it? It wasn't. Sorry to interrupt. It wasn't a lady in a white dress with long black hair, was it?
Didn't see the hair, but
didn't see the hair because it was quite. Yeah.
It could have been a white dress.
Yeah.
Think about it. It could have been, couldn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I've got a couple of photos of a lady in the cloisters.
All right.
And she's got like a very long white dress.
Yeah.
And long black hair. I think it's a lady.
Could well be that. I don't know about the hair, but I saw it. It was definitely a lady in a white dress. So you might well be right there, Julia.
Yeah, I'd try and get the photos out, but I think they're on my TikTok, and I think they're on the Paranormal group as well. But yeah, that was I can't remember when it was, but yeah, I did take a couple of photos of a lady in a white dress there.
All right, that's interesting then, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think you caught something from the tunnel as well in a white dress, Julia, didn't you?
I've also been in the cloisters and taken a picture out of a window, and I've got a floating head that looks like a woman, but it's just like a floating head. I'm not sure about in the tunnel. We always used to get that knock on the table. Did you get any knocks?
Yes,
on
we
the
did.
table when you went?
Yeah.
We did.
Yeah. Underneath.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, underneath the table, wasn't it?
Yeah. But that was in the cloisters this time, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally we only get it in the tunnel. My belief is that whatever is there is getting stronger.
Yeah.
And do you think it could be because it knows us as well? Because it's the same people going time after time. But there's loads of people. I know, I see loads of people on Facebook that go to Waverley. So, there's lots of people going there, all the time. So yeah, maybe they recognise people's faces.
You think so? You think so? Yeah, I reckon they do.
Yeah,
they recognise you as a group, or they recognise your voices. Something they recognise. They know they can trust you then. Hi, Debbie. Welcome, Debbie.
Yeah, evening, Debbie. Thanks for joining us. Much appreciated. Thanks for the like. If that's been anybody else, give us a like, give us a bit of love. The more clicks, the more people will reach. It's purely to promote ourselves and other groups of good standing. Graham, always welcome. So that's strange because Dawn left her laser pen. Yeah,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
But do you remember on one of the EVPs we could hear muttering? Remember I said you can hear voices talking. It's like someone having a chat on that EVP.
But you also remember we also stood there and heard chanting.
Yes.
And it was only you and I that heard that.
Yeah, by the window.
By the window, correct.
Yeah, yeah.
When I was sitting with Jenny on the window, on the back window, we heard tapping behind us.
But there were lights in the forest. Yeah. But there were lights in the trees, weren't they? Going. I know there's a camp behind, but there were lights going on and off in the trees.
But that was like tapping on the stones behind our back.
Interesting, isn't
You know,
it?
the other weird thing, we always see, after a while, we always see strange lights in the sky there, like almost watching us.
Me and Dora did, didn't we, Dora? You remember?
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't see the light
I
that
just
bright.
look up. No, it went like
really
like explosion
intense.
and went back.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I looked up and looked at you and went, "Did you just see that?" And it was hugely white, wasn't it? Huge.
Yeah.
Not a star. It was something
that
different.
bright one that you saw.
Yeah. It was like a massive white light. Massive.
I missed that
And
one.
we were, yeah.
It's not the same, is
Me
it?
and Dora pointed to the same place, didn't we?
Yeah, it was look like you've got stream of light and would extend and come back.
Yeah. Yeah. I wasn't sure what that was.
I mean, it makes you wonder because, I mean, there are places where I'm quite convinced there's portals. Quite convinced. So, where these portals are, you tend to get quite a bit of what you would call paranormal activity. Therefore, is the paranormal activity at Waverley because there is a portal nearby, and this allows them to travel easier backwards and forwards than it would otherwise be. And because the energy knows us, as soon as we're there, does it turn around and go, oh, look at them again? Scott's just joined us. Hi, Scott. I'm still waiting on a message back, mate, and get my van sorted, and then I'll be down, mate. Myself and Scott have got something in the background which will be bang on for everybody next year. Really bang on for everybody next year. Let's put it this way. You might not want to sleep over, or you might be really excited to come up. If I can pull this off for Scott and he can pull it off. And I think Scott will agree on that one, without giving too much away. Next year, got a few things lined up that could be just for all of us, yeah? A bit like when we did the secret location, fort and whatever. Always try and include everybody on the same level, because we are all equal, we're all on the same level. That's why the puppy chat's there, so anybody who wants to come doesn't feel left out. Simple as, yeah? I have Graham says you're always welcome, Graham. Just give us a shout, mate, if you want to come, yeah? There's a lot of interference going on at the moment, like being noisy party. I've got headphones. Anybody else got interference problems?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I can hear it as well.
It's on the cruise, yeah. It's Julia's cruise.
Yeah.
Right. Does that take it away?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
have you moved?
Well, there's obvious people in the background, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, very much. That's Scott. Very much looking forward to it. Very much looking forward to it. Let's hope I can pull this off. I've messaged the person the other day after I spoke to you, Scott, but they haven't got back to me again. They seem very laid back and so forth. Who's into haunted artifacts?
Me, I'm interested in that.
Yeah.
Well, what we've got coming off, you're going to love. Yeah? You're going to love. You really are. Obviously, you know I've got an actual to go onto the van. That's not on yet. Hopefully that's on this week. And I can kill two birds with a stone. This thing and going down to see Scott and having a night down there or whatever, I can do two birds. I've got to get down to see Scott because he's got some fantastic locations down there, and he's a good guy. Haven't seen him for too long. You'll all love him, honestly, and you'll all like. You could not. He's very experienced as well. I know Paul's very interested in your dogs, Paul.
Yes,
Scott,
yes.
Very interested.
And
Yeah,
I'd love to hear about them.
Well, hopefully he's been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be nice to meet him, wouldn't it? Put a face to the name.
Oh, you will. We will all. But no, that was Saturday. I mean, next, what event's coming up next?
The Barn Theatre Saturday.
Barn
Yes,
Theatre, that's your one. Yeah. What time does it start?
Yeah.
For?
It's 7:30 for 8 o'clock till 1.
Okay, mate. No worries. I'll bring my table up. Yeah.
It's a small venue, but I think it's a very interesting venue.
Yeah.
You never know. You know, you can't turn it on and off like electricity, can you?
No, absolutely. But it's what you put in and what you get out, isn't it?
Well, it always amazes me when you watch some of these TV programs where every single show they have activities, you know, and they have the same kind of activity. This is another thing to get to. Like,
But they don't tell you how long it's filmed over, though, do they? It could be over months, couldn't it?
Apparently, they go in next to the night, yeah, or
Right.
weekend, yeah, and they get it all collaborating close down together. Because when you're on an investigation, if I put a video together in 30 minutes, we've done 5 hours to get that 30 minutes. And 5 minutes of each activity, obviously. But these people are in there all night, or so-called all day, and they've got plenty of time to capture, they've got a lot of stuff. But what gets me is, and I've been in these places before and after these shows, and I get nothing. It's completely opposite to what they've got, and I'm sure everybody's like that. But what gets me is it's such a consistent behaviour of activity that they're getting. You know, one of them will get affected by the spirit and pass out. Yeah.
But then you've got to remember, right at the very beginning of the programme, you know, it gives you a clue, doesn't it? This is for entertainment purposes. You know, you wouldn't sit there an hour and watch nothing happen, would you? No. Something's got to happen, isn't it?
Well, it's like that TV production I told you about. You can turn out. Look, this has cost millions of pounds to produce. It has to work. It has to work. Yeah, we cannot lose money on it, and I think that applies to these programs as well. Not all of it. I'm not saying all of it. I mean, we've been into places before certain companies and so forth, and we've got a couple of bits and pieces, but then they've gone in and got exactly there what they got the week before another venue. And I'm like, well, hang about a minute. When we go to Waverley, we know we're going to get table tapping. Yeah? We know that the K2 meters the other night. Wow!
Yeah, they're going mad, wasn't it?
In the tunnel, them K2 meters.
Going mad, wasn't it?
Well, there was one on the table. I said to Luke, put yours up there as well.
Yeah.
It was 6 inches away from the other one. And it's like, oh, mine's doing off a different reading. It's only going to 3 and the other one's going to 5.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's going to 5 and that one's
Oh, Darren.
Yeah. Oh.
Hope you say pardon after that.
That's
you said you just woken up. Was that you? Was that you, Julia?
It's dodgy Italian food. I do apologise. I think we're actually sitting right below the funnel, so it's like we didn't realise that. But
sounded like you're right in the funnel, didn't it?
Was that the iceberg warning?
Oh my God! Don't say that. Neil saw a turtle. You saw a turtle, didn't you?
I saw a turtle this morning.
Well, my boss, for not too long ago, he used to love his cruises, and they always used to have like balcony cabins and arbors. They loved it that much. It's the only holiday they did, and they did the Queen Mary second on its first cruise, Christmas, New Year.
Is that one that's docked in Long Island?
No,
that's
the new one.
That's the new one. The new one. It's often in Southampton. It's huge. It's absolutely huge. It dwarfs the Royal Caribbean ships, and it's magnificent. And they did the first cruise on it. But Christmas and New Year. He rang me New Year's Eve, and I said, "All right, how are you doing?" He says, "Dee, you're not going to believe this." I said, "What?" He says, "In the theatre," he said, "it's amazing." He said, "It's huge. It's got balconies, chandeliers." He said, "It's absolutely superb." He says, "We've gone in there to watch a show New Year's Eve, and guess what film they're showing?" I said, "What?" He said, "The Poseidon Adventure."
That's what you needed, isn't it?
Poseidon Adventure's a cruise ship, New Year's Eve. What? What are you thinking of? You know?
The boat we went on in May, that had pictures of the Titanic everywhere, like paintings of the Titanic. And I'm like, shit, we're going to go down, aren't we? We're going to go down. But luckily, we scouted round and we don't have any pictures of the Titanic. I think because it's an Italian ship. There's no pictures of the Titanic here. So.
That's a good thing.
I think that horn was telling everybody to get back on the ship. Everyone who's gone out for around the town, it's telling everyone to get back on the ship. So we're all right because we're on the ship. So
you're not rushing along the street trying to get back on.
No,
we're in the bar. We're in the right place.
Best place. With all them spirits.
I hope you haven't taken any boards with you, Julia, because you don't want to be creating the Italian. No, I'm not going to mention that one.
What was that? I missed that.
Well, what was that? The Italian captain of the Concordia, wasn't it?
When it was Waverley's family.
Yeah, he went home, didn't he?
It went over, didn't it? Yeah, that went over.
He went home. I mean, I remember. Do you remember the Herald of Free Enterprise disaster?
Yeah, that was the ferry, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was Townsend Forreston. That was. I mean, any disaster is bad, but that was full of day trippers going out. Townsend Forreston. I mean. Dad used to take me across to Ostend quite a bit, and it was 3.5 hours on the ferry from Dover to Ostend and 3.5 hours back. And we got caught in traffic one morning and we missed it. And we went on the Spirit of Free Enterprise, which held the record for the crossing between Dover and Calais of 104 minutes. It was a remarkable ship. The design of it was in its day. I mean, this is in the 80s, yeah. And I remember the long front bow door, and on the back it had 3 different levels of decks. And watching the rear door close as we were pulling out of port, and all the cars below it from the rear deck, and watching the thing just take off and stay. And as we got halfway out, I was only a kid, obviously, and we passed the Herald of Free Enterprise steaming back. And I mean, it was like, oh, you could see the waves of the ship. And something hit me. Something in my whole body. Oh God! And I froze, and I could see people drowning, and it was horrible. My dad said, "What's up with you?" I just don't like that boat. There's something about that boat. And a week later, he's called me through on the news, and sure enough, it had sunk. Well, it was lucky because it was on a sandbank, wasn't it?
We used to do that crossing quite a bit, and every time we used to do that crossing, me, my dad, and my brother used to stand at the back of the ship as we went away from the coast. And I used to say to my dad, "Why are they leaving where all the cars go in? They left that gate open, and they were sort of 200 yards out to sea, and the gate was still open." And my dad goes, "Oh, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing." And I said, "Yeah, but what happens if a big wave, all the cars float out?" And he went, "Oh, they know what they're doing." And I was like, "Oh, okay, they know what they're doing."
It was quite a way out before they closed it, wasn't it?
It was, yeah, it was, yes.
And it used to be in two parts. It used to come up, and then it would the other bit would just close over like that, wouldn't it? I remember that. But you know, they were so proud of them ships because you used to go to the little shop and they had postcards and glasses with Townsend Thompson, Herald of Free Enterprise, Spirit of Free Enterprise, and then of course they weren't so proud after that, yeah. But
did you have a look at that video, everyone? I put on there the other day about that flight.
Yeah, I see that one.
What's your opinion on it, Dora?
Shocking. Where they've been.
So, and yet they're all still in their seats when it landed. So who landed the plane?
Oh yeah. Did you watch the video I put on comments?
Yeah.
I think we've still got a little bit of sailing to do, and we've got a flight to do as well.
Oh yeah.
You'll be all right.
Yeah, we slept quite well last night.
That flight, there was so much speculation over that.
Yeah.
And I did a bit of research in it a few years back, and they couldn't figure out how it had landed in the first place.
I just wonder, have they aged over that time? Did they come in young and go out old?
Well, the fact that they were
Did they look the same?
Well, they were all sat in their seats. They hadn't moved. The pilots or whatever were still holding onto the wheel, and they said, "Well, was it suspended in time?" And then all of a sudden, as it came and landed, we've got a design, haven't we? If we're going to leave here now to go down the road to Tesco's, we're going to say it's going to be 8 minutes. Well, if we were there 15 minutes, we've aged another 7 minutes in life. So if instead of being held up, you were suspended, by the time you got there 30 odd years later, then our design of age and so forth, of time as we term it, or space-time, 4 seconds up there is like a year on Earth, is an hour down on Earth, yeah? Was it suspended in that wormhole? They came down and all of a sudden the age just went onto it. It just aged. I.e. those people were alive when they touched down on the landing, and then all of a sudden time just caught it and went bang. That was one theory.
It makes you wonder, because it's a bit like the Philadelphia experiment, wasn't it? When they zoomed through time, but they were there but vaporised, weren't they? So their shadows were on the walls and things like that.
That ship actually came down in the middle of a city. You know that? It did actually lift out of the water.
But they say that when it disappeared, the displacement, the shape of the boat was still in the water when it disappeared. So How do you work that one out? If the displacement's still there, where could the ship have been?
Well, apparently there were sightings of it all over the world. As time's gone on, I mean, obviously you read the book I sent, the Philadelphia Experiment, the original one.
Yeah.
But as time's gone on, there's other accounts of it from different areas of the world. And it was like 5 minutes, it was sat in the harbour in somewhere in the UK. It was sitting in the UK. 5 minutes it sat there. And it was a naval, could have been in Portsmouth, actually. And one of the naval officers went, we've got a problem. What? There's an American warship in the harbour. And the commander turned around and said, it's impossible. There's no American warship in this area. So there's an American warship sitting in the harbour at the minute, and it's glowing. And they all looked out the tower, and sure enough, it was sat there. They observed it, they took photographs of it, and so forth. And then all of a sudden, there was a flash, and it had gone. And it had gone to another part of the world. So it did move, and it was still there somewhere. Yeah.
But what they tried worked, didn't it?
Why did it move? Why didn't it just stay in the harbour? And I mean, it goes back to the time stationary, it doesn't move, and so forth, doesn't it?
It made it like you go back to that aeroplane. You know, how could it have landed on the runway?
How?
How was that possible?
Because I believe they were still all alive when they were on, when it was landing, and then the theory of the time catching up with it just happened.
Yeah.
You know, all of a sudden, time just caught up and went, well, it shouldn't be here now.
But then this is the same as the Bermuda Triangle, isn't it? Where do things go that disappear there, and then they suddenly reappear?
They try to justify it so much.
It's mad, isn't it?
I mean,
but I think there's lots of things out there that we don't know about. You know, I think we only scratch the surface of things, don't we?
Well, like I said to you the other night, you have to get reports. Sky crash, right? Everybody that's watching this now live.
Neil's on form tonight.
Yeah, Neil's still at it. Yeah.
Neil's on form tonight.
Yeah.
Told him about it. Oh my god, how funny!
You must go and buy the book Sky Crash. Right, it's about the Rendlesham UFO incident and the cover up that pursued. By the time you get halfway through it, if you're a complete skeptic of whether UFOs exist and you just poo-poo them and there's no alien life in the whole galaxy, then you will get halfway through and be convinced that there was a huge cover-up. I mean, you're not dealing with normal simpletons here. You're you're not dealing with people that don't know what they're on about here. You're talking about United Air Force servicemen and RAF servicemen and mechanics and people that know, ground crew that know what a plane looks like when it's coming towards you, and people that also know how to navigate at night in the dark in an aeroplane while traveling at 600-700 miles an hour, and know what a bloody awful nest.
It can't be the lighthouse at Orphaness because you can't see it. So what did they see in them trees? Yeah, what did they see in them trees?
Well, Sky Crash tells you exactly what they saw in the trees. It tells you. I mean, I don't like reading. I can't stand reading. It does my head in unless I'm reading a diagram of a car or something.
Yeah.
But I can sit down and listen to an audio book over 2-3 times on something like that. And
Yeah.
I'm telling you, if you don't like reading, get the audio book. Audible $7.99 a month. It's a couple of quid a week, and you get a credit every month, and you can buy another book each week. And I'm telling you, Sky Crash is by far the best UFO read because it is in the UK. It's here. And I'll tell you what, if you've admired Roswell in the United States, anybody that's like read Roswell incident and things like, my God, they found the debris, they found a body, they're going to be well impressed by Sky Crash because it was a couple of people, completely independent, spent a lot of their money on doing it. They've never been, well, obviously the book sales now, but it was the Roswell in the UK. It was
the Roswell of the UK.
When you get to that landing site, you will tingle all over your body. And I tell you, still nothing grows in that area. Nothing in that little area.
But where they tell you, it's not the right place, though, is it?
No, it's not. No, it's not.
The landing site's in a different place.
Yeah. Did you find it? So did I. Right.
Yeah.
I've found them both. Right. And I'll tell you what, it's a completely different place. Completely.
Thank you.
But it's not far away from each other. It's not far away from each other. Which says to me, you know, that these people have been visiting us for ages. They reckon that evening, Jen.
Hello.
I say an evening.
Honey.
Put it in your ear.
I
don't know.
Hi, Dora.
Hello, you alright?
Yeah.
Had a good night's sleep?
Yeah, much better, thank you. Yeah. You know that's my new name for you, don't you?
Yeah.
Hey, Dora.
Dora. It's my tarot, mate. Right, I'm going to go and sit down.
Watch James Bond.
Yeah.
Oh.
Cheers.
There's nothing better.
Well, I told you I stayed next to James Bond, didn't I?
Did you?
Yeah. I stayed in the next door hotel room to James Bond one night.
All right.
Because I could hear the woman in the next room saying, "Oh, Roger, more, Roger, more." Anyway,
let's swiftly move on from that. I could see where that one was going. Well, I couldn't see where it was. I couldn't see where it was going, but let's move on.
We all know.
Yeah, but that Rendlesham is quite a place.
I've only just seen this come up.
Yeah, yeah. But I don't think you could live a long lifetime and still not get to the bottom of it. You know, I first started with, you know, when I saw my nan and a few bits for 4 nights in a row, and I thought to myself then, I asked that question probably everybody asks themselves, you know, is there life after death? You know, whether we live long enough to see the question or get the answer, who knows?
I think that's what everybody would like to know, but nobody wants to know.
Yeah, exactly.
I know for me.
And everyone knows as well.
Yeah, but I mean, I know for me, it's a scary thing, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah.
You know? I mean, I'd like to think that everybody good is going to be reunited at some time, but I'm also pretty sure of reincarnation. And when you're reincarnated, I think in a way your spirit splits.
See, the way I look at it, we're here to either learn a lesson or to teach a lesson.
I think we're here to improve.
Yeah, to learn lessons. I'm sure of it.
improvement. Yeah, we're given lessons, like we're given opportunities. We're given opportunities to better ourselves, and
unfinished business from previous life.
Yes, there is unfinished in some circumstances. I would agree with that. But you know that sometimes there's so much aggression with people. They're so easy to jump. I mean, if you're driving down the road, people are much more eager to trip you up and bollock you on something and be nasty than they are to smile at you. A simple smile.
But that's because they've been conditioned to do that.
And
that's
that goes
not a natural person.
To you the other night when you first got there, I do believe in a good and I believe in an evil. And just because I don't go to church doesn't believe I do not believe in a God. It doesn't mean that I don't pray either. The only reason I don't go to church is, well, look, there's not the only reason. There's many reasons, but I mean, any version of the Bible will tell you that God sees us all as equal beings. They're all equal in the eyes of God. Yeah. The vicar turns or the priest or whoever it turns around on us. And this is just my opinion, guys. I'm not ramming it down anybody's throats or anything like that. It's just my opinion. I'm absolutely nobody. And he turns around and says, God spoke to me. Well, God spoke to him, but he didn't speak to you. So does that make him a special being? Is he more important than you? No, he's not. And that's one reason. Second is, when you go to a lot of churches, people are very miserable. They tend to sheep each other as well. Yeah. Sheep. I mean, everybody knows the sheep syndrome. Yeah. And what sheep do to each other. If you've got a pen of sheep and you open the gate, they're all standing and look at the open gate. Yeah. One runs out and they all follow each other, don't they? Yeah. And they all herd up together again. Yeah. Well, in life, we have now out-sheep the sheep by far means. We've actually, because I mean, have you ever been to a restaurant and had a meal and one of you is not happy about it, yeah? And you turn around and you start kicking off, and everybody else will calm that one person down. No. We out-sheep the sheep, so we're laughing at sheep. Yeah. We're free human beings. God gave us. Whoever God is, whatever God is, it's huge, bigger than we can ever comprehend in our small, tiny minds. He gave us sorrow, he gave us loyalty, he gave us hate, he gave us happiness. When you're meeting to basically thank him for that, I think you'd be really happy. Do you know what I mean? And having a laugh like that we do. Yeah. Oh, you know, you're all pleased to see each other, and well, thanks for us being. I mean, we don't say it. We don't. We maybe should. I don't know. Don't say it, but thanks for giving us another night together. Yeah. You know, this night's special to us. Yeah. Thank you. Whatever's there. Yeah. I'm sure you'll agree with that, Paul, coming out of hospital like you did. Thanks for letting me see the world again, mate. Yeah. It brings things into perspective.
Oh, definitely, without a doubt. You see a different side of it, don't you?
Do you know what? I've done some things in my life I'm not very proud of, right? I've done things that a lot of people would frown upon and tell me that, oh, maybe, you know, you're not such a good person, whatever. Well, guess what? I know I am, because I felt guilty and I've got over most of those things in my life. And God, if you really want to know who he is, he's your conscience. You know whether you've done right or wrong. You know, there's that little naggy voice, isn't there, in your ear? And you know when, do you know what? I could have stopped and spoken to that woman 5 minutes longer. It wouldn't have really made much difference, but it may have made difference to her day. Yeah? Do you know what I mean?
But then you should listen to your body anyway. Because, you know,
listen to your body,
because when you go into an investigation, you can have all the thousands of pounds worth of equipment and this app and that app. there's something about your body that tells you something's not right. We have that feeling for a reason. We're given that flight or fight protection mode.
Yes,
We're given that for a reason.
Yes, we
A
are.
lot of people don't take much notice. I'm just getting this, or just getting that. But if you're in a situation, your body tells you whether that's wrong or right. That's how clever we are.
And that brings me back to another discussion, argument, whatever you want to call it, that I always have with people. Equipment versus feelings. Feelings will always win. And equipment blocks out you developing your skills. Because you put all your attention on that. Meters and EMF, I love, and EVPs, I love. But when you buy a box for £2,000, right, and you put it in the middle of the room and you go, I've paid £2,000 this, guys, yeah? Well, quite honestly, a lot of people are paying over £1 million to speak to their mum, yeah? So this $2,000, it doesn't matter about money. You put all your attention onto that little box that cost all that money, and you're listening to it go, get out. And it's like, it wasn't a feeling, was it? It's just a voice through an electronic device, yeah? And how authentic is that electronic voice? Is that real? I know before you've talked some really good things, mate, yeah? And sometimes they go with my feelings, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes they don't. Yeah. I
mean, that's why we always say about going back to basics, isn't it? Back to basics with, where we have the EVPs, we're back to basic equipment. I mean, that shows you, like Saturday night when Luke's meter went off and Jen jumped.
Amazing.
Jen jumped up in the air.
Wow.
That is your fight or flight sense.
Yeah.
You don't need a machine to tell you there was something there. Something broke that beam or whatever.
There was something there.
Your body tells you, doesn't it? Hence why Jen jumped. Well, I think we all jumped, to be honest. And that's how good a sense your body is.
And we all turned around at the same time and went, let's do it. Well, I said, let's do one, let's do it. Let's do it could mean anything, couldn't it? It could mean let's get the board over there, whatever. But every single one of us turned around and went, shall we go now?
Funny. Your body senses.
We all sense the same thing. And that is why we are so much more powerful than that 500, 2,000, £1 million worth of a bit of equipment. We all, we all want to develop along with one another. Yeah. And there's a lot of people out there that want to develop, and I'm sure Jen has helped loads of people develop.
Yes.
I haven't. Very successful. And I really do not care. In fact, I'd be pleased for you if you get a lot better than what I am at it. Because you can start teaching me things then.
But the strangest thing about Saturday night is that communication where it took me into the kitchen. I could actually see the kitchen there.
Right.
I don't know.
I'll tell you something now, right? That guy, we had a Henry or somebody standing in the background. He hadn't come through properly, right? And he was standing there looking at all of us. And he kept looking at you. And he turned around to me and he says, I will help Paul to see. I will help him to see. He said, tell him to place his hands on the board, on the table. Tell him to... Because he was using that. They're all using that table of mine as a medium. That's what they're using it. And he said, I'd like, are you safe? And he's like, yes. He says, I will show him. And that's what I said to you, Paul. Go and put both your hands on the table, mate. He wants to show you.
Yeah. And it was just like...
He was talking in here.
I couldn't see the meter flashing, so I wasn't sure what was going on. But I remember sort of, and I sometimes get this where I see spirit take me around the place. But that was just, it took me to the fire. I could see the spit roast. I could see, it was just incredible. I could see every detail in that room. People rushing around and amazing. Amazing
That's the experience that you had on Saturday, which is special.
Yeah, very.
And you know you will treasure for the rest of your life.
Absolutely. I'm lucky, like that respect that they trust me enough to do that.
The
Well,
book in the wall as well. There's a book in the wall.
The book in the wall that was hidden between the crack. Because we thought it was in the fire, because I think Darren said about a tapestry, didn't you, Darren, at first?
that was over the other building, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Remember.
But he showed me a book or like a scroll being hidden in the wall. And where did that meter light up on that wall? Right on the crack of the wall.
Yeah.
Wasn't it? You remember?
Now, if you remember, I was shining my torch on that spot on the wall before you took the meter over there.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, remember that? Right.
Yeah.
Not many people picked up on that on Saturday.
I did.
That's because the same spirit that told me to tell you to put your hands on the board was showing me where he put it into the wall. Right?
Yeah.
Now, those blocks that are on the bottom there weren't there when he did that. They were behind. Yeah. Now, this scroll was used to communicate through. Right? A bit like if you was in a prison, you may have a secret hidey place. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one got found. It was basically there was 2 or 3 of them communicating through this, 2 main ones, and every time they cooked, they put their hand in and whatever. And the one that told you, or told me to tell you where to look, and the meter went off, then went on to tell me that he'd been caught looking for it, and he'd put his hand in there, and the book wasn't there. The one that previously put the book in there, or the scroll, had been watched and caught because they suspected him of doing it, and they were both extradited from the monastery. So they've both been kicked out for that. This is now, again, this is only what I may be conscious. I may be completely off par. I don't.
But what I saw is exactly what you're describing. You know, how can you take a meter to the? You know, I could see him hiding it, putting it in that crack of the wall that would have been there. But you know, what the chances taking the meter over there and the meter lighting up right where he showed me he put it.
Well, I've got the torch shining on that spot. Yeah.
Yeah.
You walked over with the meter. Yeah. We haven't communicated about this until now, which is 40 hours later. Yeah. We've had no communication whatsoever since then.
But I could describe to you what was on the walls in there, because I said about the carvings on the walls. I could see the fire going, and the kitchen was bustling with people and servants and all sorts
of woodwork well gone, you see. I mean, there would have been
getting ready.
Yeah. There would have been wood in there.
Yes.
And, and
the wood would have been halfway up the wall. It wouldn't have been full wood because it had brick. What I can remember, it was halfway bricking in wood around, and then there was this beautiful fireplace like they were cooking in, you know. But it was a huge fire, huge.
Yeah. Graham's recent. Now this is interesting. Graham's been giving us some updates on this.
Yeah, I've been watching them.
Yeah, we are interested in this pub, Graham. Sorry if we're sorry if we haven't seemed to be. We have been, mate. Honestly.
Yeah, I have been communicating with Graham when he puts them on there.
I mean, Paul's running. He's building his group up now. I've been doing it since 2007, and I've got like 4 or 5 groups that I look after. I've got Great British Ghost Hunters, South Coast Ghosts. We've got he's back. Power Unified Paranormal Investigators. And I also moderate and help other groups as well, and so forth.
Sometimes them EVPs you get are clear and precise when you least expect it.
Yeah, always.
You know, but that's what I keep saying to Luke. You know,
effort to moderate a group and to run a group. and it's a job in itself.
You're constantly on it all the time, aren't you?
Well, yeah. I mean, now you're seeing what going into running the group really, really means. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, you've got this event coming up on Saturday. I mean, you put an immense lot of work into it.
Yeah, I have.
It really takes a lot of work, mate.
But the best place, what I'm really trying for all of us more so is I'm going to go back to the control tower at Maltlesham, which is not far from Rendlesham, which is an American World War II base. When I first applied to them, they were right up for it. Said, yeah. Nobody's ever been in here, and nobody returns here in the dark. And then we were poo-pooed by the committee, by one person. But he's contacted me recently,
has he?
saying to me, could you contact us again in October when the Sunday footfall stops, and then we'll go forward from there together. So,
well, I think if you do that, if you get that, then
that'd be amazing.
Maybe a night or a couple of nights up there. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it's not going to be that expensive if we do it the right way. If we go 5-star hotels, it's going to cost us a bloody fortune. Yeah. I mean, if we go, if you go B&B route, and let's just say it was 80 quid for a twin room or double room for the night, then it's 40 quid each. I mean, there's you and Jen, there's Lynn and Luke, yeah.
Yeah.
I can take my van up. Do you know what I mean? And with you and I there, we can do the investigation, and then we can go into the woods, and we can start going. We can show all the hot spots, and then we can do an investigation. One thing I will say though, whoever does an investigation at Rendlesham, or if you're passing, right, and you decide to go in, don't go in alone.
No.
Do not go alone. Because
definitely not.
That place is bloody dark. Right? Make sure you have protection. Please.
Everything's the same, isn't it? Every way out is the same.
Every way is in and out of that place is the same. And it's like 13,000 hectares. It is massive. You have silver birch trees dotted around the place, and then the rest is pine trees.
Yeah.
And then there's an open field with a house in it. Then you get a bit further down, there's an open field with a house in it, and there's an open field and it goes on and on and on like that. And you could be walking around there forever and a day.
Easy.
I've been told that the cult, there's still black magic in there. That's confirmed. That's fact. And also witchcraft.
I can believe all that. You think of Hellfire Caves, and the stuff there. That's not the only place that type of stuff went on. That's what you've got to understand.
I've been told the facts are that it is still there now, and it's regularly practiced, and there's underground places as well. And I have been told by very reliable sources, when you see lights in there in the evening or at night, do not go in there.
Stay out. Yeah.
Stay out. Keep out of that place. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now I've toyed with the idea of if you walked in that forest on your own and you got lost and it was getting late in the evening and you were still trying to get out and you met some of these people, what would actually happen? Do not go in there alone. It is not safe.
Nobody goes. Not even the locals go in there at night.
They won't.
No.
Now there is also fact. There is also, I've done a lot of research, and I've spoken to loads of people, and waiting on an interview as well, hopefully, from a guy who's happy to do an interview for me. And hopefully he'll come on here maybe next week. I'm not saying any names yet because I just need to let him. He's watching us tonight. and he can see.
Yep.
Now,
if you're watching tonight, welcome to the group.
Yeah.
Welcome.
We're all a team of nutters, as you can tell.
It helps.
Not him, but some other people have told me reliably that there is tunnels going all the way from Woodbridge right up to Lake and Heath underneath. So they could all... was that your knuckles?
Mm-hmm.
I'll get down to dislocations now.
Sean? Right, Sean? You didn't eat your dinner, mate? You know? You're going to eat your dinner, mate. Come on.
Otherwise, it's a knuckle sandwich for you.
What did you say, Sean? You weren't tired tonight? I've got scissors, yeah?
Uh-oh, here we go.
There will be fault, the Graham said I'll post a comment.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
Please do, Graham. Please do.
Debbie thinks it's quite funny, and so do we. As long as you're not Sean, of course. It's not very funny for Sean.
No.
I can't hear
you. Graham,
the thing is, you've got...
So glad you brought this up. This is going to take us another 10-15 minutes here. We've overrun already, but I'm not going to leave yet. Because Graham has just brought up Groveley Woods. Now, does anybody know about Groveley Woods?
No.
Right, Groveley Woods, I've been there, and every year it's still visited. There was, I think it was 3 sisters, if I'm right, Graham, correct me. Facebook user, this is all it comes out. If we put down who you are, please, yeah? Because
hi, good evening, whoever you are, welcome.
Yeah, put down your name, because we do want to address you by your real name.
Yes, please.
So, Groveley Woods, right, Graham, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was 3 sisters that were accused of something like witchcraft or something. It's as you go up the A36, you come to a little village. There's a little turning to the left. You go round to go round to the right, and you park at the bottom of Groveley Woods. And I went up there a number of years ago, and in the daytime took a walk with the dog and the kids up there. And it is very eerie in certain spots. We walked around where I felt the trees were, and it was all cordoned off. So, Graham, if you can give us some pointers on Groveley Woods, we would love them, mate. Because I'll tell you what we'll do, while the weather's still good, we'll all get in a couple of cars and head up there.
Yeah, interesting.
Down the woods. Just a day out, you know. Nothing, I mean, like when I went up to Carn Cottage, I didn't go up to do anything paranormal. It was just a day out, things did happen, obviously, and you're going to get that in these places, these locations, yeah? But Graham, please, you fill us in on Groveley Woods. We would love to hear about that. Or if anybody else watching this has been to Groveley Woods, we'd love to hear it. We really would love to hear it.
Definitely.
Sometimes, I mean, why did people start off in these locations in the first place? Why did they start off? Why did they pick that tree, that spot, to start doing what they do or did? Why that pond is so haunted and why they worship? Why? Yeah, this is what we are into. You know, we've been to enough haunted houses. We've heard enough bangs. We've seen enough doors shut in front of our faces.
Yeah.
Now we're into the whys. Yeah. And that's why we go out in the field so much. Why we do Waverley Abbey so much. Because why are you here? We know you're here. We've seen you. We've felt you. We know you're. And perhaps, do you know what? Here's a good one. What about this theory, right? You know how we're starting to see figures and flashes and everything over Waverley Abbey now, which we've never seen before. Are they quite content that we've seen them already, so they're not scared of showing themselves? And now they know that we're there for the wise and not the want to see?
It may be, yeah. But why are we drawn to it so much?
I don't know.
Are they drawing us to it because they're becoming more trusting of us? They want us to see more, learn more? Or I don't know. Why are we drawn to these places? And I wonder whether Spirit think we'll call them back because there's more that they need to know, more than they need to learn. And that's why you're drawn back to certain places. That's how I see it.
Well, here, I mean, Groveley Woods, it's only just been mentioned tonight, yeah? I've been there.
Yeah.
And thank God, yeah? Do you feel drawn to it?
That something about it draws me to it.
Who else feels drawn to it? Because I do.
I can see it. I can see trees in my head.
Yeah.
Right.
Trees.
Well, this is what Graham's just replied to me. Thanks, Graham. There you go.
Trees.
Thanks,
I would
Graham.
have a few changes of pants, Graham, not just one.
Well, that's what I say. I walk up in the daytime, yeah. You know, just a Saturday afternoon or something, have a wander around and stuff.
It's the same as most places. You know, Epping Forest is well known for these types of things going on at night. You know, it's not just certain forests. Certain places are drawn. They've been going there for hundreds and hundreds of years, doing these rituals and like Hellfire Caves, isn't it? You know, it's one of these places that never disappears.
It's got a great name, Hellfire. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all right, Gemma. Good. Thanks for joining us.
Hi, Gemma.
Thank you. Thanks so much.
Hello.
But you think Hellfire Cave is not the only place that they would have done that type of stuff? Forest, deep in the forest, deep in the woods, you know, deep in villages, all this type of stuff that we don't know about. Clapham Woods, a good example.
Yeah.
You know, you've had experience there, Darren, haven't you?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So they're still using it, aren't they?
There's a few places I've done a lot of. In this house, it's quite funny because I keep going on about the kids about being on the mobile phones and playing games and things like that. They go, well, you're sitting on your computer and stuff like that. And they don't see what I'm doing on the computer. I sit here for hours researching places and finding. Then when I've got enough evidence of something, then I'll go out in the field and I'll visit it. Again, Clapham Woods, do not go on your own. It's not the place to go on your own. I think perhaps we should make more effort on a Saturday afternoon or something to go and meet up at one of these places. Clapham Woods, I've been threatening Dora for ages. We'll go over there, and we will.
It's like
I tell you something. I went couple of weeks back, 3 weeks back. You know Horndin Woods.
Horsley.
Horndin.
Yeah.
They doing some buildings on the back of the woods, and I went there for a walk with Leon, and it was a bit raining, so we was watching the diggers from the far, and I said to Leon, come on, we walk along that fence because it's all fenced out, and deer appeared on front of us, like 20 meters.
Brilliant.
And stare at us, and I feel like that's not good. He's too close, you know. So I tried to scare him. He come towards few steps, look at us, and he didn't run off. He walked off into the bushes.
That's unusual.
And I turned around to go back to the main path, and I wouldn't know where I am. I said to Leon, I don't know which way to go back. And he went, it's okay, mommy, I know, I show you. I had headache, felt dizzy, and he led me to the path, Leon.
But it's the
And
same.
I say, come on, we're going home.
That's the same thing you would get in Rendlesham, isn't it, Darren? That type of, like, your brain compass is gone. You haven't got an idea where you are or what you're supposed to be doing, or you suddenly think, what am I doing here? Why am I?
It really is nuts.
Yeah.
I know I was there, and I know how I got there. And obviously, it was just that few seconds confusion. Which way I come in?
Yeah. As you can imagine, in the middle of a forest, how easy it would be to get lost.
This will be the
interesting, Graham. Interesting.
Waverley Woods.
Yeah.
Go away. It's quite an interesting one, isn't it? Go away. Don't.
No barking,
It's a warning, isn't it? It's a warning. Yeah. Why are you getting a warning?
Gemma's just out. This is Gemma. Basically on the compass thing. Why does it happen? Yeah. Well, I think we are energy, and we pick up on energy, and I think when we get overwhelmed by EMF or radioactive energy, it really does affect our compass. It's sickness, isn't it? It's radiation sickness. And perhaps we are getting a small dose of that. But as Paul rightly says, Rendlesham, wow, do not go in there on your own. Do not go in there on your own.
But then sometimes I wonder, where ley lines cross, the ley lines, and you happen to be near it, because where you have a positive ley line, you're always going to have a negative ley line. You've always got to have opposites.
Always.
And I wonder where they cross is where you suddenly lose your compass. You're thinking, where am I? What? Which way did I come? Because everything looks the same, but it doesn't. But for that split seconds, your brain tells you everything looks the same. Now, which way did we come in from? I wonder if that's where you get these crossings of these ley lines, whether that's why suddenly it affects us. I'm not sure on that one, Gemma. I'm not sure.
Well, I say don't go into Rendlesham alone. I am actually planning, but I'm going to have the dog with me, because it's only 3.5 hours drive or something. It's not much. I've not been to my parents' grave in Essex this year yet, and it's only a couple of hours up the road. They're both buried in the same cemetery, so.
But then you could always do the Witchfinder General tree, couldn't you? At Manning Tree.
Yeah.
That's not far.
Yeah, so I could sort of do Essex. Well, they're buried in Rochford in Essex.
Oh, right, yeah.
Manning Tree, then Rendlesham.
Yeah, into Suffolk, yeah.
Yeah, and that van motorhome, whatever you want to call it now, it's really nice inside. You've seen the pictures.
Yeah, it's lovely.
The mattress I've got in the back of it is a proper house mattress. It's not a van mattress. It's a proper home king size mattress, and it's a foam, but it's staggered. It's solid underneath, and then it gets softer on the top. It's got a soft layer, but it's like being in air. And
after you said all that, I still wouldn't get in bed with you.
Oh, Paul, come on, mate.
As comfortable as it sounds.
Oh, mate, it's like a hotel room on wheels, and it was really good.
Nice.
On fuel. I did 700 odd. Gemma's laughing. I did 700 odd miles on about £150 worth of diesel. So,
good, isn't it?
Debbie, you should stop it as well.
It just sounded like an invite to me, that's all. So, my fees for travelling around the country couldn't be really cheap, because
I mean, when we left Hellfire Caves, we stopped off the A12 and Travel Lodge car park, which had services 24/7, and that was free. You know, you park there for free, and there's certain apps and so forth. But I am planning on my electric bike in the back, one of my electric bikes. I'm selling some, and going up to Rendlesham maybe 3-4 days next month, and doing a bit.
Take your bike.
Yeah, but I will not enter them woods without the dog.
Definitely not. Definitely not.
She is getting a lot better now as well. I mean, today she's been over the show and stuff, and people have been stroking her, and she growled at a couple of blokes, but just But I know if she's out, in the field with us, then she would stick up for all of us.
Of course, yeah.
And I mean, even Waverley Abbey, you never know who's going to come over and join you, do you?
No, you've always got to be on your guard, haven't you? You know, I've been there where some strange people have turned up. I went there once when there was a group chanting in the cloisters. You know, that's how strange.
Isn't it? Why are they chanting? We don't know. It's down to
what
them,
are
isn't
they
it?
chanting? Yeah. What are they trying to get hold of?
So you know, I'm trying to get calmed down a bit, because one, she does pick up on things. You know, and two, it's nice to have around, because when you go, unfortunately, the paranormal seems to attract paranormal people, and I think he's always going to do that, because people say, oh, it's the occult and it's this and it's that, and oh yeah, let's go and talk to the devil. We go there for a hobby. We don't want to talk to the devil, far from it, but these people do. Yeah. And it's the youngsters that get into it that seem to think it's cool and it's so fun. I mean, look at the 60s and 70s, where that, you know, if you played it backwards, you've got a message from the devil. What album was that? Remember, there was a 12-inch.
Don't know.
So you got a message from the devil. The message came at the end. You've just screwed up your stylus. Get a new one.
Was that one of the Beatles songs?
Yeah. I think it
was.
Wasn't it? Yeah.
One of them you played backwards, and there was a message there, wasn't there?
Yeah. But you know, even the Beatles, why did they do it? Why? You know, was it just money making? We'll never know. But anyway, but no. Rule number one: if you're going to go investigating anywhere, take at least two of you. Yeah. A lot of these places, you haven't got mobile phone signal. I've got my phone. I've got Google Maps. Well, not if it's affected by electromagnetic energy. It's not.
But you think if you were running down that path from Nacton ruins in the dark, there's no way you'd run down there without getting injured.
No. You're coming up. You're going over. And if enough to keep rolling as well. Yeah. Racton, some days there's nothing there. Some days it's evil. I was up there. I've come down that path in the dark on my own without the dog. I don't think I'd do it again. I think a few years ago I used to test myself out. And what I'd do is I'd go somewhere like Waverley, and if I knew it was going to change at 12, I'd sit there till 3, you know, just to make sure. And I'd scare myself and I'd push myself harder and harder and harder. There's no real benefit of that, and I see that now. But I've come down that path 10 years ago at 1 o'clock in the morning, and you just want to run. I'm telling you, you just want to run. And you can hear things in the side, and it's not animals. Animals will run away from you. These are coming towards you. And one night I met you're in these situations, you're on your own, and it's like, is it real or am I dreaming it? Am I hallucinating? is it a ghost or is it a real person? And this bloke and 2 dogs just appeared, just out of nowhere. I'm sat on the ruin, 1 o'clock in the morning, and I've seen this shadow coming towards me. Next thing, there's a dog at my feet, a little whippet. I'm like, and he's gone, hello? I've gone, oh, yeah. He's gone, you're up here looking for ghosts. I went, yeah, you're not one, are you? You know what my sense of humour is like. He went, no. He says, have you seen anything? I said, I've seen loads of shadows, and I've had loads of noise, there were stones thrown at me. He says, yeah, you will up here. I said, what, is it kids? Or he says, no, it's not kids. Just like debunking to him, do you know what I mean? And he said, look, he says, a few years ago, he said, I was in a relationship and I decided enough was enough. And I just upped and left, and I decided I was going to come and live up here in the woods and see how long I could sustain it for. And he was up there 2 years. 2 years. Not just living at Racton, but in the woods around the area. But he did visit there every night for 2 years. And he said he was a complete skeptic. Right? He said, I was one of these blokes, macho, no, ghosts don't exist. I don't know if they did, they wouldn't scare me anyway. And he said the first night he was up there, he was confronted by this dark mass about 12 foot tall. He said never seen anything in his life like it. And at first he didn't believe it. He said second thing he did was just run. And like you said, he fell over and woke up about half an hour later. And the only reason that convinced him to go back another night and carry on for almost 2 years was because he realised he'd fallen over and knocked himself out and he hadn't come to any harm. So, because it threatened him and it made him feel it was going to harm him. So he said he left it a few nights. He went back in the evening, so it's still light, went back to his camp. And a few weeks into it or something, he went back and there was nothing there. There was absolutely nothing there. He said he spent the night there and nothing happened. And then he went up the next daytime and loads of things kicked off again. But he said there is this black mass, really dark black mass, which will confront you if you're on your own up there. He says he's seen it loads and loads of times. And, you know, whether it's going to got the power to harm you or not, if you're up there on your own and you do panic, your fight or flight comes in, your adrenaline kicks in, then you can really harm yourself.
Yeah. But that could be your Hellfire Caves, couldn't it?
It could.
Yes. There's probably a lot more to that place than meets the eye. It's an incredible place to visit.
Absolutely.
Really incredible place. I wish Jen could have made it up there. But it was an incredible place. But that could be that's your Hellfire Caves.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a shame Jen couldn't get down there.
Yeah.
And, Lynn couldn't come down because she was dizzy as soon as she got to the top. So she had the world's most expensive table for the night, drinking coffee.
Yeah.
And it's in crisps, two big boxes of crisps. Walker's mix, and there wasn't one salt vinegar or prawn cocktail left by the time we come up. Sharon's laughing again. But at least there was toilets, weren't there, eh? Oh. Yeah.
Like I say, that could be your Hellfire Caves. Hellfire Caves is not the only place that things like that happened. It's the only place that's known and can be seen. About the places that you don't know.
Well, I mean, if you read on the internet, there's so many theories on why Racton Monument was actually built in the first place. It's actually quite simple. It was built as a folly for the Earl of Stansted, because in those days it was whoever had the biggest was a bit like today, I suppose. Whoever had the biggest monument, could boast and so forth. Yeah, and obviously the importation of fruit and veg and exotic animals and so forth would all come into Chichester Harbour, and you could see your ships further out to sea the higher up you got. Now, we went to, we were going to a group over Hailing who were into truth and seeking out so forth what they thought. And it was always Freemasonry that got dragged into it, always. And I can assure you there's nothing in it, yeah? It's completely opposite if you understood it, if you took the time to understand it, instead of jumping to conclusions and making theories. And anyway, one Sunday there was this old guy, George, who was a historian, and we were away on holiday at the time. This would have been 2021. We were away on holiday at the time, and everybody said what a brilliant talk this guy gave and so forth. So much so that in the September, he was invited back by the host to do another talk on Hailing and the surrounding areas. Now, as part of the Home Education Group of Portsmouth, they arranged a Chichester Harbour tour for the home educated kids. So Angela's got the kids booked in for it. This is 2018, 2019. Yeah, that's Gemma. I'll put that on in a second, Gemma. Anyway, she says, do you want to come? I says, yeah, it's all right. Seals and things like that. I'll come out to Chichester Harbour too, right? Anyway, this is about 2018. We've got down to Chichester, parked up, got this boat, and they've taken us out. And it was really nice. Right out the mouth of the harbour. Didn't see any seals or anything. But I'm looking up on the horizon up to the hill, and you can clearly see Racton Ruin, Racton Monument from the water, well out to sea. They take you out on these electric boats, solar powered they are. Quite unique, good idea. All the roof is solar panel, so it's regenerating all the time. And completely silent. Anyway, they've given you the binoculars, and I'm looking through the binoculars, and you can see Racton Monument just like you're there. Boom, boom. Anyway, going back to this meeting of 2021 September, myself and Angela are like really looking forward to going to this meeting and sitting down, listening for an hour and a half to this George guy go on about the history of the local area. So I'm thinking, well, apart from the truth things, I might find out a little bit more where we can sort of do a few investigations and so forth. Anyway, the first thing he's come on about is must be 2021 is about masonry. First thing, but he's come on about this church. He's got a sign above the doorway, and he's got pictures of it. He's taken in different angles, and he's manipulated, and he's got the same as this and whatever. And he says, yeah, it's strange that they should put this over the door, things like that. And then he's on about every one of the lodges meets on the Tuesday after Easter for some reason. And I'm like sitting there thinking, well, that's a load of codswallop. That's absolute rubbish, yeah. And then he went on, does anybody know of a monument called Racton Monument? And I put my hand up and whatever, and he says, few of you? Yeah. He says, well, that was built for some sinister purposes. He says, it tells you if you read up on it. This is probably about 40 minutes into the meeting, the talk. And I'm starting to think, this guy's a bit of a proper sort of WAF one conspiratorial theorist that's not done his homework here, yeah. And he says, it was built to worship Satan by this fraternity, which are linked to this, to the Knights Templar, to this, and it was supposedly so you could see ships out to sea. Has anybody been out to Chichester Harbour? You can't see Racton Monument from there. And myself and Angela looked at each other and just went, what a load of shit. Yeah. You can see Racton Monument. Well, it wasn't until last year we went to another one of these meetings that I was asked what I thought the way forward for this group was. Because it was all about, well, if we did lose electricity and there was families in need and things like that, you know, how would we look after the needy families and so forth, yeah? which is a good point. Prepare for it, yeah. And well, people need to come together more and do a bit more research on before they start talking. I said that George last year. I said he's a nutter. What? I said, well, Bracton Monument, can't see it from the sea. I said, you can. I've been out to sea. I can see Bracton Monument clear as a bell from the sea. Well, I don't know about that. I said, well, I bloody do, yeah. And I quite honestly, I don't think I'm welcome at the meetings anymore. But it just shows to go how these things are blown up out of all proportion. Yeah, the Acton Monument was built as a folly, so the others stands to his boats. After that, it fell into disrepair, and it was used as a brothel. It's been used by a few weirdos because it's a remote location, and the stuff that's there has been brought into Acton Monument. And there is some bad stuff because it's circular, it stays, it doesn't go out. It's trapped in there, and it will always be there. And it's bad ground now. This is Gemma. Sorry, Gemma, I've just got this on now. So I'm Disney feeling sick. I've had a weird experience about 3 times now. I have. Something similar. I don't know if anybody else on here has had this sort of experience. The feeling of sickness, I would say, is EMF energy, higher spirits energy, or something like that coming towards you in a really heavy way. Freezing cold when the room does drop temperature, doesn't it? Yeah. And probably the easiest place for the head to get rid of temperature and so forth is ears and nose, isn't it? So that.
But you think about that could be like stone tape theory, but there's so much energy absorbed in them walls that if you're sitting there for any period of time, you could be absorbing that energy from them walls. You know.
Yes.
You can imagine the fear of people that were going down there.
Yeah.
So that would be absorbed into the wall like sponge, because it's probably made of lime and all that type of stuff that records time and energy, as like you say, the stone tape theory, isn't it? So if you're sitting there for a long period of time, your body could absorb that, and that could be the feeling that you would have if you were down there during them times.
So what you're really saying on the stone tape theory is that you are sitting there, and unbeknown to you, your body is listening to that record, if you like, going around.
Yeah, because you're sitting in that energy of that wall, or the stone tape theory, whatever. So, most of us go into a room and go out of a room, but when you're in Hellfire Caves, you're in there for a period of time in one place. And I think your body absorbs that energy from within that room. Most rooms you go in, is everybody here? Knock, knock, tap, tap. 10 minutes later, 15 minutes later, you're walking out. So your body's not got that time to absorb that
you're in the
energy
cave all the time. Yeah.
But when you're in a cave, you're in that energy all the time. You can't go to a different room and get a different energy, because the energy is the same anywhere in there because of what it is.
Does that make sense, Gemma?
And I think what Gemma's feeling, this is my opinion, I might be wrong, but I think if you're sitting near a place that technically has negative energy there, because not good things happen there, and we all know that, it's built for a purpose. It's built for a higher purpose.
The reason it goes over to the water is whatever they summon up in the temple beyond, cannot cross that water.
No.
It's a sacred home.
Yeah, but if you're sitting in that energy of that wall,
it makes sense.
Sponge, whatever you're sitting in that energy, because that wall's absorbed it like a sponge. And that's what happens. Certain materials absorb energy, don't they? And that's how they say the stone tape theory works, is by the limestone and the different stuff that they use in the walls or build the house. It's absorbing that energy, because that's all it is energy.
Oh yeah.
And then
Yeah.
and when you're in there,
Especially limestone.
yeah, especially like Jen said, especially limestone, because it's porous. So it's absorbing it like a sponge. And I think when you're very close to that wall for a period of time, not just because you don't you don't go Hellfire Caves and you're in a room for 10 minutes, do you? You're in a room for half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever time you're in there. So you can imagine how much your body's absorbing energy. And that energy is going to be going round and round. Even when you go out into the walkways, hallways, or whatever you want to call them, that energy is still there because that's still the same chalk, it's still the same limestone. That's still absorbing that energy of people going in and out. And there'll be hundreds of thousands of people that have gone in and out of that place over the years. It's been what it is. So I think what Gemma's getting it is energy out of that wall. She's feeling maybe what someone else down there would have felt.
A bit like if it was spraying water jets out of it.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I would agree with you on that. That
Definitely.
makes perfect sense.
She could be feeling what someone else felt hundreds of years ago, but it's still in that wall. She's
absorbing that fear. Like the jets would be spraying the dirty water. Yeah. It's amazing. Thank you. No worries, Gemma. That's what we're here for. All
and
to
I
try
think
and help each other and educate each other.
Yeah. I mean, I may be wrong. I'm not saying I'm right, but my feeling I get is, if we're doing a haunted house or you're doing an event, you're in the room for 10, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at the most, aren't you? And then you're moving on.
Yeah.
But I think within that time, you don't absorb what's in that room. Sometimes you can walk into a room and go, wow, there's something in here, because you absorb it straight away.
To be honest with you, Paul, that's why I always have a break, right?
Yeah.
I do an hour and 20 minutes, and I go, right.
Walk away.
So to be honest with you, mate, I'm right up your street on this.
Yeah. Because you've got to remember you need to recharge as well.
Yes.
Because your energy's being sucked out of you. Yeah. Because you come out there, some venues I've been to, I'll come out with a paranormal headache, and my head is absolutely thumping.
Oh God!
It's right on your third eye. Yeah. And it just absorbs so much energy from you. So it just shows you that being in that energy, whether it's a negative energy, spirit need both negative and positive energy for them to communicate. And the only way they can get that energy is through us, and through batteries and through equipment. That's the way they do it. But if they can absorb your energy like a sponge, why can't you absorb their energy, get their feelings, get their emotions?
Perhaps we are. And that's why. Yeah. And that is again why protection is so important.
Absolutely.
If you haven't got green jade, go and get green jade. That has to be something that you are attracted to. Otherwise, it will not do you any good whatsoever. You must be attracted to it. I
have crystal that Jen got me. Was it an obsidian? Yeah. And I keep it in my pocket. Obsidian, like a black gem. And I always have it in my pocket. It's a protection stone. When I go on investigation, I have it in my pocket. Not that I'm paranoid, but
I'm wearing that all the time. Dora's got green jade as well. And
Luke, what do you have?
Well,
I've got quite a lot of them. I've got green jade. I've got as well.
Green
do you carry it with you?
I wear it on my neck, every day, yeah.
Right. Get it from China, Gemma. You can buy green jade in shops in this country. You can buy it in crystal shops and so forth. But real green jade tends to be very expensive. When I say very expensive, 25, 30 quid, something like that for a necklace or something. And you've only got a limited choice what that shopkeeper's bought in from China. It sounds stupid going to China to buy something, but a lot of green jade's mined and so forth there, and obviously it's really cheap for labour, so you get it a lot less.
I've got mine from eBay.
Brilliant.
If you ask Gemma, if you ask Jen when you see her, a very, very, very good friend of Jenny's sells crystals.
Right. got to be.
She's brilliant.
I mean, the reason I say green jade, it can
Green
be
jade.
white and green jade. That's pure green jade there. I was attracted to that, so I bought it. I've got my other one upstairs somewhere as well. But I just went. I would start off with green jade. Keep it simple. Start off with green jade. Try yourself out on that. That converts a negative into positive. I suppose it is, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you put in, hang on, let's have a look.
But you saying that, even when I had mine in my pocket, before I go into an investigation, you know, I always ask the Archangel Michael to protect everybody that enters this doorway.
Yeah, same here, mate.
In his brilliant white light, and protect us from anything negative. If you put it around the doorway, anybody that's going into that investigation should be protected. But there's no harm having crystals in your pocket for that little bit of backup. You know, that little But if you're going to a location you've never done before, you don't know what you're going to face. You know, my fear, you know, going into Hellfire Caves, you need everything you can get in there. Everything.
Yeah, someone like that, it's lethal going in there without any protection.
Yeah, and I think, you know, and I think what Gemma's feeling was what somebody would have felt on that night, that day, whatever they did, because there is no night and day in them tunnels. That's what you've got to remember.
Same time all the time.
Yeah, it's like going back in time, isn't it? Because there is no time.
I mean, I'm just having a look for a listing. I found one. What I will do is I will have to do it this way. It should be on here. Yep. Yep, it's right. Where can I find the comments? I'm just confusing myself, guys. That's all.
But that's my theory and why Gemma felt why she did.
Makes perfect sense, mate.
Because of the limestone.
On here. This is a listing, okay. You'll see it on the comment section. Yeah. Have a look on the comment section. That's just one of many listings on eBay. That's from China. It's got to be something that you're attracted to. The reason I say eBay, and I said to Dora, go on eBay and have a look, because there's so much that you're more welcome. There's so much on there. There's so much variation. Another thing I'll add to it is if it's got a little bit of silver stuck to the green jade with the necklace going through it, try and steer away from that sort of thing. There you go.
I've got that one.
Yeah, she's got it there, look, right? Because I pull this in bed, yeah? And if I had what Dora's got on there and I pull that in bed, I'm going to break it, yeah? This goes through the middle. Yeah, it's tied through the middle. So I can pull that and pull that and pull that. And if I break it, I can just put another bit of rope through it. Simple as, yeah?
I had green jade ring, but someone dropped it.
And it's smashed, yeah. If you like a ring, if you look on there, Gemma, and you see a ring you like, and you think, oh, I wish I could have a ring to wear instead of that, you can still wear the ring around your neck. You can get a rope.
Earrings as well.
Yeah, the more basic you are, the much better you are, honestly, on the protection. Don't go elaborate or anything like that. The more basic and you're attracted to. That's why. Bracelet, yeah. I've got 21 carat there, right? And then I've got a bit of string holding that. Look. Yeah, that's my green jade with a bit of string. I don't put it on my gold. I just put it nice and basic. Try that. If that doesn't do it for you, then we'll start talking about more things like black tourmaline, which will actually absorb the negative energy, and so forth. I've got a few upstairs, I find myself, my level is green jade. It just levels me. If I wear too much, then I'm going to block out the energy which I want to contact, and it just shuts me down. So wearing too much has another negative effect for me. Wearing too little could have a very negative effect for me and everybody. Yeah.
It's just about your own personal protection, isn't it? Not a protection for everyone. That's what you've got to remember.
And everybody that's going on regular events, which is exposing themselves, should have it for £5.
So I keep mine in my pocket whenever we go, so I know that I'm personally protected. That's okay. But I know I'm protected personally. I'm drawn to that obsidian. So I know that's what works for me. But also putting the protection of the Archangel Michael, it's just that added little bit of light around everybody that comes into there for that little bit of everybody protection. But I'm drawn to the obsidian that I have in my pocket. And that works for me. You know, I've never come home with anything. I've had paranormal headaches and, you know, all the stuff that you do get, tiredness, but I've never come home with anything.
Well, that's works for you, you know?
Yes.
Like I say, that bit of green jade there works for me.
Yeah.
But it's not enough for some.
No.
It's getting the right fuel in the right car, isn't it?
Exactly it, isn't it? It's whatever you're drawn to.
A lot of people, Gemma, you don't have to have protection.
No.
It's simple as you don't have to. But it will stop you getting ill. It will stop. I mean, you're still going to get places that are going to affect you, but not as much.
Yeah.
My opinion, anyway. Yeah, and Paul's as well.
Correct.
And I think since Luke started doing what I've told him to do, he's grounded himself a lot more.
Yeah, I've noticed difference. Yeah.
You have, mate, haven't you?
I used to get pushed quite aggressively once.
When I first met Luke, I was one of the lead investigators and I was the medium for Surrey Paranormal. Right? The reason I've taken myself away, and I always do for the medium, is I don't like, those that know me, I don't like the fakeries that go around. And the minute you say you're a medium, they tell me I'm an extra large. Well, actually, I'm an extra large. Some people go, oh, yeah, you're full of bullshit. So I say I'm a sensitive. But I met Luke on an investigation with Surrey Paranormal, and like a lot of people do when they go to a group, the second time he turned up, he decided he was going to try and tag onto my team, didn't you, Luke?
Yeah.
and right, who's going with Darren? And I'd have 3/4 of the room over with me. And the other two would have 2 people each, and because I used to get results, and the first thing I noticed about another one, crystal around the neck, angel wings, whatever you're attracted to, whatever works for you. It's a dedicated thing. Yeah,
it's whatever you're drawn to.
Yeah, but I mean, the first thing that I got about Luke was he used to get picked on very aggressively. Yeah. And I didn't at that point have much chance to educate him because I was with Surrey Paranormal. It's more of a working relationship than a social relationship. If there was any messages for anybody there, I wanted to pass them through or so forth. And but it wasn't until you come to a few of mine, I said, look, go and get yourself something. Go and get yourself green jade. Go and do it. And have you hugged a tree recently, Luke?
Yeah, not long ago it was, yeah.
Right. Did you feel silly?
Just felt the earth and the grounded, really.
You felt the earth and grounded. That's what you should be feeling. right?
Yeah.
It sounds
Yeah.
really, 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 really stupid if you've never done it before. Go and hug a tree, guys. Go and hug a tree. I
Yeah, it was
guarantee you, if you've got people watching
Always do that.
you do it, Dora?
Yeah.
Good on you. Good. And you feel the earth, you feel the ground,
You do,
and you
yeah.
feel the nature. Yeah?
Yeah, that's what, yeah.
If you can, go and do it somewhere near buddleia bushes in the summer. Yeah? Go and do it where there's nice green grass and probably a few rabbits running around. Yeah? Things like that. Because you'll feel the whole earth. Do you see what I mean? Yeah? And if people laugh at you, they haven't got a bloody clue what you're doing, have they? Do you know what I mean? I mean, Debbie just said, also the pentagram, a tree of life. The tree of life. Yeah? When I started talking to Luke, I tried to teach him there's a positive and a negative to everything. Yeah? If you ever wire up a 12-volt circuit for a light bulb, you have a plus and a minus, and it has to go back to the source being the power supply in a 12-volt system, a battery or a torch. Yeah? Now, if you haven't got that link back to the power supply, the source, you're missing a really big link, because that light's not going to illuminate. The circuit isn't going to be complete. So you need to ground yourself. And if you're not well grounded, well, there's two really good things you can do. Two really good things. One is hug a tree. There's also another really good thing. And anybody know what that is?
No.
Take your shoes and socks off and go on the fresh grass. Yeah?
Yeah.
Especially if it's got dew on it or a little bit of rain. Go and walk on the fresh grass. Right? And wiggle your toes so the grass goes in between you and feel the difference. Anybody that's not paranormal orientated won't ever get it. But if you are spiritual, you are sensitive, you're a medium or anything like that, you'll understand it.
It's all about that connection with Mother Nature. That's what it's about. Connection with Mother Nature.
We come from the ground, we go back to the ground, one way or another.
If you hug a tree, you're supposed to take your shoes and socks off anyway, aren't you? Because then you make that fuller connection, like you were saying, Darren. Yeah, you make the circuit.
Yeah.
And you connect with Mother Nature, because Mother Nature is more powerful than anybody realizes, really. You know, there's a healing, there's something to heal everything in Mother Nature.
What made us. And all our cures come from the earth, one way or another. But they're free.
Yep.
Now, why does Ross make you that, does he, Debbie? Yeah? Gives you a hedge cutter and goes, there you are, your hedge. No.
And you have to say to him, which hedge?
Now.
But
Paul, don't get me started.
There's nothing more powerful than Mother Nature, is there?
Mother Nature made us, and all our cures come from that. I'll have to end the live in a minute because we've done like 2 hours now.
Yeah.
Put a link back here. I did briefly put on screen. So Adelaide doing an investigation, also the history of it before they started. So that may be of interest. I don't know if you can find that link, Graham, and add it to it. We'll look for it, mate. If you can't, don't go out your way. But if you can find that link, that would be brilliant. And just tag it to the chat where you are now. Yeah. Same here. Thanks, Gemma. See you Saturday, love. Be great seeing you.
See you later. Take care, Gemma.
See you later.
Paul's still got tickets left. So,
just for you, they're going quickly now. They're going quickly now.
Link in if you want to book one on the chats. It's I'll be there, Jen's there, Luke's there, Dora's there. I believe Nigel's coming up, hopefully.
I won't be there.
I was going to
You're
say, I
not
think
there,
Dora's
Dora.
away. She's away.
Oh,
Yeah.
You're in a foreign country. You're leaving us. Hey?
I'm going to pick up Maya tomorrow.
How dare you?
Oh,
I
my.
dare.
Our chief explorer's not there. Hey, Dora.
Oh.
We're going to miss you.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh.
I
Vice
know Jen
versa.
will. I know Jen will miss you.
We also have the boat coming up Southampton. I think there's a few tickets left for that. Paul's going to put his link in the chat now. If you want to join us Saturday, please do so. If you want to come along, ask questions, experiments, we'll be doing them all. My haunted table is going to be there. You're welcome to try it out for yourself and feel the power. I guarantee you, the bolt. The bolt.
Boat.
The
Boat.
boat. The
The
boat,
boat, not the
Gemma.
bolt.
The boat. Yeah.
Boat.
Yeah. Boat on water. Yeah. It's Julia's event. I think you're on it anyway, aren't you? The boat. Yeah, the boat. The boat. The boat. Hey. You almost missed the boat there. Don't miss the boat. Go on paranation.co.uk and book your ticket. That's good. There's a few tickets remaining. I have never investigated a boat before in my life. I'm very interested to do it. The reason being, I'm surrounded by water.
Yeah.
That's boat. Yeah.
That's boat, yeah. That's
Something
boat.
nobody's thought of here. See you Saturday, Gemma. Have a good one.
See you later. Take care.
See ya.
Bye.
Nobody's thought of this one. It's surrounded by water. Yeah. Anything that's happened on that boat, guess what?
It's in the water, isn't it?
Stuck there, isn't it? It's stuck there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm going to end the live now. Then we'll do our 5 minutes, and then I can get my dinner because obviously you can see I'm wasting away. Looks like, you know?
Looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Yeah, I bet.
Anyway, guys, we've had quite a few views tonight again.
Thank you everybody for coming on.
Yeah, thank you so much. All of these recordings now stay on the channel, and I also download it and I upload it to YouTube on South Coast Ghosts, Great British Ghost Hunters. The more likes, the more shares, it's really appreciated. Debbie came on, first thing she did was liked it. It streams it to more people, and the last 2 hours and 7 minutes of our life has been here, as you see, with people like Gemma. It's a little bit more education, and that gives us a fulfillment inside ourselves. So we've helped people tonight. We've helped someone. We've generally helped someone with a bit of protection, you know. Maybe there's groups out there as well that we can help and meet. That's the main thing. Anyway, I'm going to end the live now. Thanks to those that have joined us, and we'll catch you next week. 8 o'clock.
Take care, everybody.
Every Monday we'll be here. Cheers, guys.